If you're considering foam insulation for your row home, there are a few things that you might not have considered that could throw a wrench in the project. From parking to road closures, here are a few things that you need to keep in mind when scheduling your project. Now, obviously, if you own a row home, you know exactly what it is. But for those not in the know, essentially a row home, it's a row of homes that are either built very closely together or they're actually connected and share common walls. Let's talk about those road closures first. Now, if the row home isn't at the end of the row or it's not easily accessible, then there's a possibility that the street may need to be closed. This happens because there has to be enough room for the truck and trailer to gain access to the home. And they can't do that if they have to park a block away or anything like that. They need to park right in front of the home where the work is going to be done. Now, when it comes to these street closures, the customer's responsibility, it depends. The contractor is likely going to ask you to reach out to your city office and request for the street to be closed. Now, this could require pulling permits, but it really just depends on the municipality. That'll be a conversation that you'll definitely want to have with your contractor. Now, I did touch briefly on parking challenges, but there's another caveat to that. Now, if there happens to be a back alley behind the row homes, there is the possibility that the truck and trailer can park back there and be able to access what they need to access to install the foam insulation. Here's the thing though. Those back alleys sometimes are quite small and the amount of room for parking is very limited. If the truck and trailer can't fit back there, that's when you have to move back to the possibility of a street closure. When it comes to RetroFoam, those crews have about 300 feet of hose that they're able to work with. But spray foam crews generally have about 250 feet. Sometimes they can add more, but it's going to depend on the contractor. Now, those limitations, they all tie into the whole parking situation. Those hoses need to be able to reach, especially when we're talking about a 3-story home. That's why it's even more important that they park as close as possible to the structure so that they have enough room to pull the hose that they need to inject the foam. The same is true for the spray foam. They have limited amount of resources as far as how much hose that they have. So being able to park right where they need to get those hoses where they go, it's going to be very important to the project. If they're not able to, this could lead to delays and all sorts of complications. So this would be another instance where you may have to look at street closure as an option. When it comes to installing in a home that has a shared common wall, you're going to want to keep your neighbor in the loop because there's going to be drilling, there's going to be vibrations on the wall, and a lot of noise. Having this conversation with your neighbor before you even start the work is going to be key to making sure that there aren't any issues between you and your neighbor in the future. Now that I've explained to you all the things that you should keep in mind when you have your row home insulated, you might be ready to add foam insulation to your home. If that's the case, check out the Find a Dealer page on our website. There you'll find tons of RetroFoam dealers across the country. I'm your building science brainiac reminding you to bring a little science to every project.